there, one and all. Welcome to Slapendipity, Hobos of Happy Slappy Town. I am Eric, who you may call Eric, and with me is Devon, who you may call Gibby. Now, Gibby, Devon, before you say hi, I need you to answer a very important question first.
What's that?
Favorite ice cream?
Favorite ice cream. Kind of controversial, I think. I think default, the best ice cream I've ever had is probably just like a vanilla custard, right? Just like a really nice, thick, creamy French vanilla ice cream. With that said, when you go somewhere where you're getting specialty ice creams, it's like, I love cookie dough. I love moose tracks. You know, as you put M&Ms in a milkshake, you know, all those are good. But yeah, I think the simplest answer is just a very nice, high quality, expensive vanilla. Nothing can beat that. I guess I have to ask what your favorite ice cream is.
My go-to is a twist with, like, rainbow sprinkles or sometimes.
You did show me...
Rainbow sprinkles are optional.
You showed me the way of the rainbow sprinkle last summer or the summer before. We were getting cones at, like, a Rita's. And you're like, get the sprinkles. I said, okay. I'm like, wow, this is so much better. I will say, this is a really controversial thing, is I do not like mint. I do not like chocolate mint, chocolate chip mint chocolate chip. Gross, in fact.
You know, I love me some chocolate chip mint, but it is kind of like a... You can't have it as much, I think. It definitely is like a... You gotta be in the mood for it or something. I think that's also not as like, I think, bad take. It's good, actually. But from listening to podcasts and stuff, I think it's actually not uncommon.
It's one of those where people have strong opinions about it. I will say, I will amend my statement. I don't think it's gross. I could just never see myself having, like, a bowl of it or, like, a cone of it. Sure. I'll have, like, a little, like, 3 spoonfuls is enough, you know?
Okay, here's a follow-up question one of my previous bosses asked me long ago. You're on a deserted island. All you have to eat is ice cream.
So it's a dessert.
What flavor do you bring?
It's a dessert island. A deserted island. Okay. There's, like, no other food, so, like, if I only have vanilla, but I can just go to the cocoa beans and get some chocolate, or, like, I have to eat this forever.
Only ice cream.
Okay.
You have to eat the ice cream forever.
Probably moose tracks. So you have the hard chocolate, you have the, like, I don't know, like Reese's Cups or whatever else is in there. You get the chocolate, you get the peanut butter stuff, you get the thick chocolate, you get the vanilla. There's just, like, a lot of different flavors in there.
Okay, interesting. You know what my answer was?
Neapolitan.
Chocolate chip mint.
Oh, why? What? Why?
Because you can't just take chocolate or vanilla. It'll get too boring too fast. You need a fun flavor. But if you go something as hard as, like, moose tracks, like, you're just going to be eating that every day, and then you'll just get so tired of it so quick. But if you do something that's chocolate chip mint, it's basically vanilla with just little mint flavorings. So it's just different enough that you won't get tired of it as fast.
I see your point and disagree politely. I guess from my perspective, it would be like, you can either have something that you love, but you'll get bored of it, or something that you don't like, so you never technically get bored of it, ? Like, I don't know.
So, all of this to say is you would not get a banana split in any of these
scenarios.
Oh,
man. Oh, no. I mean, bananas are good. I do like bananas. You don't. We've talked about this.
I don't like bananas.
You know, talking about bananas does remind me of something. A couple episodes ago, we talked about the program Banana Splits, which was for children whose parents were divorced. It's a program in elementary schools and middle schools. And I talked about how when I first learned about it, because my friend with divorced parents was going to it, I thought to myself in 2nd grade, wow, it sure is kind of weird that they named the program Splits when it's like a therapy thing for kids whose parents are split. And I thought it was weird, and we talked about it, but you'd never heard of it.
This is true.
So I went, and I spoke to my mother, and I spoke to my younger brother, because my parents didn't get divorced until I was older than the program, but my younger brother was the perfect age for the program. And so I asked them, 1, did he participate? And 2, did they also think that the name of the program was weird? And my mother goes, I don't know what that is. And my brother goes, yes, I participated in that. So I'm just like, Mom, you must have signed him up at some point.
And she just has no memory, just head empty.
Yep.
Huh.
So I asked my little brother, I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, yeah, I guess that, like, when I was a kid, I didn't think about it, but, like, looking back, it is kind of freaking wild. Because, like, I thought about it a couple years ago, and I thought it was wild. They named it Splits. I'm like, yeah, me too. And then he talked about the program. He's like, basically, they got all the kids whose parents were divorced or separated or whatever, and they put us in the music room. And, like, it was just like, it wasn't a guided therapy. It was literally just like, hey, the 5 of you are friends now. Sit here and do things. Yeah, it wasn't like talking about your feelings. It wasn't a, like, whatever. It was literally just, hey, we're going to pull you out of science class to sit around with other sad kids. And if you guys want to form bonds and relationships, you can do that. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. It was stupid. But yeah, I told him, I've also done more research since, and I cannot find any sort of origin for the term banana splits at all. So it's not that they weren't named that on purpose, it's that I can't find why they're named that.
I bet you they got embarrassed and deleted all evidence.
Yeah, like I went on, like, the website, and it just doesn't say. Which to me seems to be that, like, the implication is that it's so obvious that it's called banana splits because they give you banana ice cream splits and also your parents are split, that they didn't bother telling people, because, like, duh, it's just so obvious. But then me and my brother are like, how did this get past a committee of people, and has no kid ever been, like, upset by this?
Nah. Because you're getting ice cream.
But they're like, hey, little Timmy,
no kid.
But hey, I know that you have difficulties at home. What if we bring your difficulties at home into the classroom? That's right. We're going to stare at you and be like, hey, your parents are splitting up.
But according to your younger brother, that's not how it happened. It was, here's ice cream with 4 other random kids. You don't know why you're there.
No, you definitely know why you're there.
Do you? What age group range is this?
For him, it would have been 2nd grade.
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. My parents are still together, lovingly so. So, the family's lucky in that regard.
Yeah, well, again, when I first heard about it is when I was in 2nd grade and my friend was going to it. So I definitely had that thought.
Yeah, no offense, but you're weird.
Well, I know that, but...
I don't know. I think an average 2nd grader would just be like, whatever, or not get it, or just think it's ice cream. And it's ice cream time.
It is ice cream time. You know, you asked me my favorite ice cream. I think I have to ask you your least favorite ice cream.
My least favorite is strawberry.
Just like in general? Just like Neapolitan strawberry? What?
Yes, because Neapolitan strawberry ruins the other flavors.
Oh my god, that is so
the
wrong.
The chocolate and vanilla.
So wrong.
And then oh boy, I got a tub of ice cream. Here's chocolate, yum. Here's vanilla, yum. Here's strawberry. Oh. And sometimes they'll even put little chunks of strawberry in
best.
it. I don't want that. Get out of here.
You know what the Neapolitan ice cream looked like at my house? It looked like a third of chocolate left in the bin because the chocolate in Neapolitan is disgusting. In fact, all chocolate ice cream is disgusting.
I've never heard you be so more wrong. Chocolate is
No,
amazing. Furthermore, if we had a tub of Neapolitan ice cream, the chocolate and vanilla would be gone, and then the strawberry would be like halfway there until my brother ate
no,
it.
love strawberry. Great. Now the Neapolitan, like,
Strawberry.
it's not always the best flavors, but like you can't do vanilla wrong. But the chocolate, very bad. Never like. I don't like chocolate ice cream. I'll put fudge in ice cream, but it's not good.
Oh my
Not good at all.
goodness. Oh my goodness. No. So yeah, it's mostly off the reputation. Not the reputation, but like it ruins Neapolitan ice cream. You could put any other flavor in there and it'd be way better. It'd do such better sales if they put mango in it or something. No. But no, they put strawberry in it for some random reason.
Not the biggest mango fan. I'm going to test your hypothesis though. Do you think that it would be better if they put black sesame ice cream in it?
No.
No, is that because black sesame ice cream is actually worse than strawberry?
No.
No, okay, you're just going to defiantly disagree?
No, I think black sesame is 1% better than strawberry ice cream. Thank you very much.
Well, black sesame ice cream is one of the most disgusting things I've ever tasted. Would you like to tell the story of how I came to try black sesame ice cream, Eric?
Well, sure. We went to a Japanese marketplace, and, they had an ice cream vendor in their food court, and they had, oh gosh, matcha green tea flavor, hoji tea flavor, purple potato flavor, which we later learned to be called taro, black sesame flavor. What were the others?
Pineapple, strawberry, mocha, other two.
No, it was pineapple, and mango, I think.
No, it was strawberry.
Or no, pineapple and strawberry. So we each, they had an option where you can get 3 flavors in one bowl. So we each got a bowl and had 3 flavors of that in it. I got purple potato, hoji tea, and pineapple. You got strawberry.
The best.
Black sesame and matcha.
Yeah, so I would like to set the stage for this event. So Eric says, hey, for practice for Japan, do you want to go to Mitsuwa, which is a Japanese market across from New York City on the Jersey side? And I said, sure. I had no idea what this was. At first I thought, oh, it's like an outdoor market. And I'm like, oh, it's like a mall. And we get there, and it's neither of those things, ? It's a big building. And the big building is a grocery store, and then, like, a bunch of restaurants. So, like, it's not a mall. It's just a big building.
It's like a food court with a shopping grocery store attached to it.
Yeah, very odd. So we go there, and we're like, we're gonna have lunch there. So we go to the food place, and there's a big sign, and it says, sorry, no vegetarian options, because they make all the broth with pork.
For the ramen stand.
For the only, like, normal food
stand. The others
stand.
weren't as good.
Everything else was, like, pastries, or breakfast, or...
That's not true.
Bakery.
They had dones there.
They had what?
You just... Dones.
I don't know what that is.
Dones is like... I forget exactly, but it's basically a bowl. So you get a bowl of rice, and then over that bowl of rice is whatever. So you could get, like, a katsu don, which is like a pork fried bowl over
Yeah, we
rice.
looked there, and there were also no vegetarian options. That's the point.
Yeah. So, I'm just saying there was more than ramen and pastries.
There was non-vegetarian options and pastries. So Eric got his food, and I sat, and then we looked around, and I'm like, oh, one of the options, they got like a crepe stand, so I'll have a crepe. So I had a crepe. It was great. Blueberry. Loved it. Basically just like a blueberry pancake. So like, okay, that's cool. That's fine. looking around at all this
You
stuff.
baffle me.
Baffle you? What am I baffling? This is what happened.
Because I was eating ramen, and I was like, are you sure? Before I even started eating, I was like, are you sure you don't want to look somewhere else so you can have food?
I said no.
And we can eat together. And you said no. And I ate my ramen, finished it, and you went, okay, let's go look for foods.
Yeah.
And then we got you a crave. And then I sat there. We could have just ate together.
No, because then yours would have gotten cold.
Oh, it would have been, it's ramen. It would have stayed hot.
No, found yours.
It wouldn't take that long.
The way we did it was correct.
No.
Yes.
Or at the very least, not place the order until both of them are in, and then sit down and eat.
Disagree.
You want to sit and eat at the same time, not take turns eating.
Turns. No. So one of the things that we kept seeing on the menus was red bean paste. And Eric...
Oh yes, very common flavor.
Yeah, Eric's like, that's a very common flavor, you have to try it, so that when we're in Japan, if you like it, you can just get that basically anywhere. And I said, okay. And so we got the stand that just sells... I'm going to call it...
Taiyaki.
That. Basically, it's fried dough with the red bean paste inside. So it's kind of like a jelly donut. Not exactly the same, but kind of. That's the closest thing I got to it.
It's in the shape of a fish?
Yeah, this was in the shape of a fish. So the whole time, I'm like, oh, they have an ice cream place. Because I love ice cream. I'm like, we're going to go to ice cream, but we have to have lunch before we have ice cream. So I have my crepe, he has his whatever he had, his pork cheek. And then...
I had ramen.
With pork in it.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Sure. So then we go to the bean store, and so I get a red bean paste thing. Now, Eric had prefaced this by saying that he's tried it before and he doesn't like it. And I said, okay.
Yes.
So I take a big bite, and the only thing that goes in my mouth is the fried dough.
Best
and
bite.
I'm like, wow, this fried dough is like really, really sweet. This is like crazy sweet. Like I've never, I guess like my experience with like fried dough would be like Zeppelese or like dough that you then cover in sugar or dough that you cover in honey. The dough itself is usually not the sweet part. So I'm like, wow, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get to the bean paste part and I take a bite and I'm like, that's a really odd flavor. And what Eric and other people kept telling me is like, oh, it's a savory flavor. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. And they're like, it's like, savory. I'm like, I genuinely don't know. I know sweet, I know sour, I don't know what savory is. And they're like, it's like, how meat is savory? And I'm like, no, I don't. I actually have no idea what you're talking about. So I took a...
Pizza's savory.
Pizza, sure. So I take a bite, and I'm like, oh, now I guess I kind of get it now, because, like, it's just like... It's chewy, but not sweet, but not salty. It's bland. Like, it's nothing, but also chewy. And so I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't enjoy this. And so I found myself, like, taking bites and, like, kind of, like, just eating the dough. And I'm like, why would I buy this if the thing I'm enjoying is the dough and I'm avoiding the thing that it is? And so I ended up just not finishing it because I'm like, I really don't feel like just eating a big plate of fried dough at the moment.
Understandable.
So I did not enjoy it. I now know that I'm not a red bean paste person. And so after this...
Join the club.
Yeah, after this, we're like, okay, let's go to the ice cream. Because I'm like, I really want to try ice cream. This is when we get there, and we learn that they have weird flavors, like black sesame and the teas. And they then have two normal flavors, pineapple and strawberry. Getting there and discovering that they in fact don't have vanilla ice cream was like a mind-blowing, what are you talking about moment.
Yeah, it's really sad because it's also like the ice cream store used to be a different ice cream store. Someone took it over, and they used to have what they called Madagascar vanilla. And it was like the purest I've ever tasted vanilla ice cream. It was so good.
Yeah.
And now it's gone.
And like you can't even say like, oh, well, in Japan, red bean is like the equivalent of their base flavor. They didn't even have a red bean ice cream. They only had those weird 6 flavors. So we divided it up.
Well, matcha is.
Okay.
Kind of like red bean.
Fair.
You'll see a lot of matcha.
I did enjoy that. That was fine. So we divide it up. It's like a waffle bowl, and they put 3 squirts in the bowl, one of each flavor. So I get 3 flavors. He gets the other 3 flavors.
Serve.
And so the first thing I do is I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try the pineapple because it's safe.
Interesting.
It was it was weird. As you were just saying, the Madagascar vanilla you tasted was like the most vanilla thing you've ever had. This was the most pineapple thing I'd ever had. Like when you buy those little cans of pineapple extract from the grocery store to put into like pina coladas, it's like it tasted like that. It's like this is something that's used to flavor other things. This is like 10 times the amount of pineapple flavor that should be in this. Then we tried the strawberry. Same thing. It was the same thing. It was like, this is overwhelmingly strawberry. Like, obviously, it's sweet and it's ice cream consistency, but it's just like, this is too much strawberry. I could cut this. I could take 1/10 of this and put it with vanilla to make a good strawberry flavor. This is when we then try the other flavors, the more exotic flavors. The mocha tea, I keep saying mocha. It's mochi. How do you say it? Matcha. It's green tea, a very bland flavor. So it being overpowering wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't bad at all. It's just like it wasn't as overpowering because the flavor itself is so bland. So I did enjoy that. I ended up mixing that with the pineapple, and together they were kind of a good flavor. What were the other?
Hoji tea.
Hoji tea.
The one with like the sugar on it or something.
Oh yeah,
it was brown.
They mixed like cinnamon or something. It was brown sugar. I don't know. That one was fine. I definitely preferred the matcha. What was your third flavor?
Purple
potato. That was a weird one because it kind of, I don't know, maybe it was just the taste, but it kind of felt like a different consistency to like normal ice cream. It was just like, I don't know, bland. You can jump in with your opinion on these flavors and like the experience before we get to the devil.
Okay. Well, so I thought the purple potato was reminiscent of vanilla. Like, I don't know if it was like a lingering aftertaste or my brain's funky. But I did not. I was okay with it. I was like, yeah. The Hoji tea was a little I mean, it just tasted like tea, but I did not care for like the sugar things they put on it. Matcha's matcha. It's okay. I remember so you like went pineapple and strawberry first because those were your safe options. I saved those for last because I was like, I know what they will taste like. So let me like not reward, but like, you know, after eating all these other different flavors I don't know about, I will now have the safe flavors.
Well,
except for strawberry.
Yeah. Well, I had the strawberry. It was fine. I mixed the strawberry. I guess you had the pineapple. Yeah. I mixed the strawberry with the mocha.
Matcha.
So then we get to the 6th flavor, black sesame. I think I've repressed any actual memory of eating it to the point where it would be difficult to describe. I guess it kind of tasted like burnt, I don't know, burnt rye toast bread. Like burnt rye toast. But like with it doesn't even have like the carbon flavor. Like you kind of burn anything and it all tastes the same because it's just carbon. So it's like the stage right before it just tastes like carbon. And it's just like, oh, this is like, I don't know, you take a bite and you kind of like feel it at the bottom of your throat and you're like, how'd it get all the way down there? It's still on my tongue. You're just like, it's like you're almost breathing it in more than you're eating it. And it's just this disgusting flavor. I was like, this is one of the worst things I've ever had. And it's supposed to be ice cream. This is supposed to be a place of fun. And instead it's whatever this is.
Lol.
That was my opinion. I don't know what yours was.
I did not get that flavor profile. I got like peanut butter mixed with something else, but it was I remember because I knew I didn't like it. But you know, I will suffer with you. But I remember like reacting strongly because it was more than just peanut butter. It was like I guess maybe the burnt thing is fine enough, but it was definitely like weird and whack.
Yes, I did not finish. Yeah, I couldn't even eat like the part of the waffle bowl around it, surrounding it. Like I couldn't even eat that. I'm like, I want this nowhere near my tongue ever again.
Yeah.
No good. So we then went to the shopping place and looked for like, oh, do they have this kind of food? Do they have this kind of food? You were looking for a specific kind of rice. I was just looking for their options for like what we might find at a grocery store in Japan. I see now that was kind of a flawed idea because theoretically a full shopping center in Japan would have a wide range of food, whereas this only had Japanese food. Like, there's no reason for this place to have Lay's potato chips, because anyone who's going to this market could just go to any American store and get Lay's potato chips, whereas I believe that a shopping center in Japan might have a Lay's potato chip section.
Yeah.
So the things I was on the lookout for that I just could not find, they had 0 pretzels. There were no pretzels. I don't understand how you cannot have pretzels, I guess. Pretzels are like the greatest food. Follow me on Twitter, I talk about pretzels too much. And then there was just no cheese in the entire store, maybe because like they couldn't refrigerate it and they couldn't like get a section devoted to cheese, but there was just no cheese. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm not getting cheese. So we went down like the snack section, and there was like Pockies and different like, I don't know, animal crackers and like chocolate things. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll try this, and I guess I'll try this, because like these will be like the snacks that we have in Japan, the Japanese snacks.
You try that crunk bar?
Yes, a crunk bar. But I guess it's supposed to be a crunch bar. It has like rice on the inside, not like grains of rice. It has like Rice Krispie stuff on the inside of a chocolate bar. It's like a bunch of crunch. I hated it.
I thought it was fine.
I thought it tasted like Cocoa Puffs chocolate.
I mean, that's okay.
But like
you didn't like Cocoa Puffs growing up?
I did, but like I would never call that like real chocolate. Like I don't know. I guess I was just expecting like something more chocolatey.
I mean, that's why I told you to get the Meiji bar, which is their equivalent of like a Hershey's bar, and you were like, no.
I wanted a crunch. A crunk, I mean. A crunky bar.
A crunk.
Bar. Yeah.
You wanted to crunk.
I want to get crunk. So my overall opinion on this entire endeavor, I'll get to the one other thing that I bought in a second, because that's kind of a secondary side story.
Okay.
Is everything we ate, every single thing I ate at the very least, was overpowerfully flavorful. And so I have drawn a conclusion from this experience.
Okay, lay it on me.
And no matter what the flavor was, no matter what the food was, the taste and the flavor was overpowering. Which to me, I was like, if I had access to this food 24/7, in fact, if this is all I could eat, I would be satisfied with any cravings I had, and I would end up eating significantly less food because I would get so much of the taste that I would just eat less. Like I feel like I could eat infinite vanilla ice cream. But I think if I got a small-sized cone of this Madagascar vanilla thing, that would probably satisfy me because it would be so vanilla.
Right.
And so this difference in how flavorful the food is would cause me to just eat less food. And I'm like, wait a minute. Is every American food just watered down, and that's why you have to eat so much, and that's why Americans get fat? Because to be satisfied, you just need more volume? And my answer was yes. That's my conclusion.
I mean, I don't know if that was a thought out thing. I feel like we're entering some conspiratorial territory.
But I don't know if it was...
The government keeps our food bland, so we eat more.
I just meant, like, aspects of, like, our culture where, like, oh, we don't, like, you know the joke that, like, white people can't handle spices and things like that. Like, it's just like
Oh,
the
sure.
culture. You know, we invented bland crackers and cornflakes. Everything we eat is corn. But like, oh, we wanted, you know, the bland food tastes that started with the Pilgrims because they were like everything else is sinful or whatever has just expanded out to cover all of American cuisine culture. Although
Mm.
part of it, and this I don't know if it's a conspiracy or not, but it was from my doctor. My doctor told me a few years ago. He's like, you know, there's like a big ice age, and then like, you know, all the water in the world was like shifted around everywhere, whatever. You know, America used to be underwater, and so all these different like sediments and minerals and whatever were in our soil. So when people first started farming here, they got all the minerals out of the water because like that's out of the waters and the dirt because that's where they were. And then we used a lot of them. And so now it's like his point was like the food that your grandparents ate is not the food that you're eating because we've literally like taken on all those minerals out of the soil. And I'm like, okay. He's like the nutrition of the lettuce you eat versus the lettuce they eat, the apples you eat versus the apples they eat is just different food. And I'm like, wow, Mr. Doctor, that
Hmm.
sounds right, but I don't know anything.
Yeah, that's how I feel right now.
Yeah, so I guess the answer to losing weight is to just put in, you know, the recipes like put in 1 dash of whatever, put in 10 dashes, make it so flavorful you can't eat it, and then you're fine. Like, you know, you
But then
pass the
what?
bakery and you're like, oh man, the smell of fresh bread. I got to get me some bread. Imagine if instead of buying like a loaf, you buy like a crouton size and then it just fills your mouth body with so much flavor. You're like, wow, I actually could not eat another bite because that is so much bread.
I mean, that'll get you taste wise, but you still need to eat enough for your stomach and to get
Yeah,
energy.
but that is so much less than you know what you need is so much less than like what people are actually going to eat, and most of the things that people eat that's bad for them are based on those kind of like smell based cravings. I don't know. I think we'll be very interested to see what happens in Japan. I told you a few days ago, I'm like, either I'm going to come back having gained 50 pounds or having lost 50 pounds because either there's going to be no food there or I'm just going to be eating ice cream the whole time. There's no middle ground.
That's kind of how I feel. Not specifically with that, but either like I'm just gonna eat so much food, or I'm just gonna be a responsible person and control myself and still do exercises or something and be like, no, it's fine. And I cry in the corner as I can't eat
Yeah, well,
food.
we're going to be walking like a bajillion steps a day. So that's always going to be a factor. But my thing is like,
This is
you know,
true.
you go on vacation, you're like, calories don't count on vacation. But when you're gone for a month, you can't always have that mindset.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's going to be,
It'll have to be only for the weekend or
yeah, it's
something.
going to be impossible for me to find. Apparently, they put fishy flakes, little fish flakes is like just one of their spices, and they
Oh,
just put that
sure.
in everything. So like already, obviously, I don't eat any meat, but I also can't eat anything that has any sort of like broth or sauce because I can't guarantee that there's no meat in the broth or sauce. So even if it's like, oh, we have some plain white rice covered in like our gravy or whatever, I'm gonna be like, well, I can't have that because I don't know what's in that. Um, so I'm basically gonna be down to like apples and then things I can check the ingredients on. So
Yeah.
we looked throughout the grocery store, and one of the things we found that I could very easily check the ingredients on was some crackers. So we
Mmm.
found some crackers.
Like Lay's potato chips or
They
saltines?
were they were just called salted crackers. That's all that it said. Salted crackers. And you look at the back and the ingredients were like rice, water, salt, soy oil. And I'm like, wow, those are normal American ingredients. That's what's in all of our stuff. So, like, I should be fine with this. It's just going to be a saltine. And even if it's a very bland saltine, really, what I'd be looking for is like, oh, I can put cheese on this, or oh, I can put peanut butter on this. Because they didn't have cheese or
Mm.
peanut butter in this store. But I'm like, if I can just always find this brand of saltine cracker, it'll be fine.
Mm.
I go home. I open it up. I get some cheese. I'm like, I'm going to put some cheese on this cracker. I take a bite of the cracker. I don't know how to describe the thing I tasted. Now, I don't eat like Chinese food or Japanese food or Korean food. It kind of tasted like those foods smell, which I'm going to guess is the soy. Like, if you get like soy dipping sauce for your meat chunks for your Chinese food, I'm guessing that would taste what this cracker tasted like. So it was just an overwhelming taste of like seaweed and soy. And I'm like, oh, this is not, in fact, a saltine rice cracker. This is, in fact, something that is supposed to have a very strong flavor, and that very strong flavor is like ocean soy. Because I'm getting, like, when I think salt, I think, like, you know, little grains of salt. But maybe their salt is, like, inherently seaweed flavored. So it was just seaweed soy. And I'm like, nope. I had my mother try one, and she's like, "Oh yeah, it's kind of like a crouton, but like with sauce." I'm like, "Well, I'm not eating this. You can have it." And she's like, "Okay." So she's enjoying it, and then my brother took one, and he's like, "This tastes like a lot like fish." And I'm like, "Well, there's only 4 ingredients on the package, so like, I don't think there's fish in it." And he's like, "Yeah, maybe it's the seaweed." So yeah, the most bland salt thing I could find, salt crackers, were in fact not bland salt crackers.
Everything had a strong flavor.
Everything had a strong flavor. Again, so I think I'm going to be surviving off of some American brands. We did find one American brand there, which was interesting to me. Do you remember what it was? So we found... Because, again, I was looking for crackers, and I found some crackers. I found some Ritz crackers. You know, Ritz crackers.
Oh, yeah.
Buttery, flaky.
Yeah.
You know, they're not my favorite, actually. I'll take a club cracker over a Ritz cracker any day, but typically I actually enjoy, like, saltines and, like, stone crackers and things like that. The butter crackers are just too, like, flaky for me. So we found some Ritz crackers. But they weren't Ritz crackers. They were Oreos.
What? What do you mean? You just said they were Ritz crackers. Ritz crackers aren't Oreos.
It was Oreos, but the cracker wasn't a chocolate wafer like an Oreo. It was a buttery Ritz cracker. And I said, that sounds disgusting. And then we didn't buy them. I'm sure that it's like a flavor. But like, what? The Ritz cracker? And Oreo, like, what the heck is this? How is this the only American food in here, and it's not even American food?
Getting their name.
Yeah, so that was our experience. I got some Pocky.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you like the Pocky?
Yeah, but I've also had it before. It's just a stick, bread stick with
covered in
dipped
chocolate.
in like chocolate, or I got a banana one because I like banana. As long as it's not split, as long as it doesn't remind me of my parents' divorce, I like banana. Okay. But, so yeah, I enjoyed those. The other thing we found is that in their fruit section, they had apples. Yep. These apples were bigger than my fist. I don't know if you guys know this. I have a really big fist. So they had some giant apples, and I love me some apples. So I'm like, if I have to eat apples for a month, I'll be happy.
Except you don't like the best kind of apple. So.
I like real normal apples. Your Red Delicious, your Red Fuji, your Red Cosmic, your Red Gala.
So not Golden Delicious?
I like Golden Delicious.
Snack Granny Smith?
No, Granny Smith don't even deserve to be called apples.
Granny Smith is
Granny
the best
Smith
one.
Or some other kind of like alien being. They're not even fruit.
No.
They're just mounds of disgust and grossness.
It's the best fruit. It's the only good fruit.
Hey, do you want to bite something that like your entire body is like exists to not enjoy the taste of? Do you want to just bite sour?
What do you mean? People enjoy sour all the time.
Disagree.
What do you mean your body doesn't enjoy it?
You know what happens with other sour fruit?
Devon, I only like sweet
Look at me
things.
with lemonade. Oh, it's sour, so we're going to put like 17 packets of sugar in it so it doesn't taste as sour anymore, because that's what we do with sour things, is we don't eat them.
We eat them. It just weeds out the weak.
You're just no good. Anyway, that was our flavorful Mitsuya adventure. Wow. And you know what I did after our adventure, Eric?
Take a nap?
Yes, I settled in for a nice sleep.
Okay.
Do you want to know how this sleep was?
Adequate, because you were full and walked around?
Well, I think that we should take a look at my Samsung Health app and see how my sleep went.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. So last time we talked about how I had been going to sleep for the month of January and February, listening to the Harry Potter audiobooks. And what would happen is I'd be listening to the story, and I'd, like, fluff my pillow or roll over and close my eyes, and then try to get comfy and not be able to get comfy, and fluff my pillow and roll over and I have to yawn, because we're talking about taking naps. And in the process of doing this, I'd be like, hang on, this isn't what's happening in the story. And I'd, like, look at my phone and I'd be like, what? Somehow, in the process of rolling over and fluffing my pillow and closing my eyes and not being able to get comfortable so then I'd roll over again, I've lost an hour of time. I must have actually been asleep for that hour. I just didn't notice. And I thought this was weird. I'm like, wow, I'm just like, kind of closing my eyes, falling asleep for an hour, waking up, rolling over, but I didn't even know I fell asleep. And that wouldn't have happened if I wasn't listening to, a linear story where I know what's happening. And I know, like, oh, Harry's in herbology, and I roll over and he's fighting the basilisk, and I'm like, what? Excuse me? This is not supposed to be happening. So you said this was weird. Do you want to go over your opinion and argument and stance on this topic?
It's weird. You sleep and you stay asleep. You wake up to go to the bathroom. The odds of fluffing your pillow, like, to me, this is just like either you sleep bad or your internal clock is bad or something is jank and funky to become fully conscious and not be aware of how much time has passed.
So I disagreed, and my conclusion was the opposite. My conclusion is that this is probably how you always sleep, but then unless you have something that, like, is tracking, like an audiobook playing, you're not going to notice that you're doing this because it's imperceivable. So you wouldn't notice. It's
not.
It is. That's the point.
Here's the other argument I brought up from last time. I have experienced a time skip because I got surgery and I needed anesthetic. So I literally did the countdown from 10, got to 6, my eyes were closed. My eyes were closed for like a second, and then I woke up and I was in the recovery room.
Yes.
This is what you're roughly describing. Yes. So the idea that you can do that naturally
every night
is
while
wild.
Falling asleep.
No.
Everyone. Yes.
No.
So I did.
Not at all.
Science. Well, the thing is,
not
imagine
at all.
if instead of falling asleep in the surgery room and waking up in recovery, you fell asleep in your bed and then woke up in your bed facing the exact same direction, still facing the wall. And so you had literally no way of knowing that this happened, and as far as you know, you just blinked. You would never know.
No, but that's. I would know.
No, you wouldn't.
Because I would know my internal clock would be like, hey man, also, when I wake up in the middle of the night, it's usually because of a reason, like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. So I get up and go to the bathroom.
What I'm saying is you wouldn't know.
But I do know.
I disagree. So let's look at the science I did. So wearing my sleep watch. Okay. So the first day after this experiment, so I did it, I guess, Monday night to Sunday night, because today is Monday. So 7 days of this. On the first day, the day we had this conversation, how many times do you think that I woke up during the night?
I think you told me like 10 times or something.
That's right, 15 times. For a total combined time of 17 minutes.
Which is insane.
Which means that on average, now one of those was to go to the bathroom, but on average, these wake up times are less than a minute. And so it's possible that, like, it's not even something I would have noticed. Now, the next day, how many times do you think this happened the next day?
12.
19. For a total of 21 minutes. Sorry, I had to count. So 21 minutes, 19 times. So again, we're sort of looking at an average of a minute each time. Now, 3 of those were going to the bathroom. So again, those will kind of throw off the statistics.
Sure.
What do you think happened the next day?
I'm just going to go with the trend. 26.
25. For a total of 24 minutes.
So close.
So once again, about an hour. Or sorry, about a minute each. Apparently this time, the next day, there was a period where I was awake for like 10 minutes in the middle of the night around 4 a.m., which is accurate. I just couldn't fall back asleep. But ignoring that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, ignoring this thing that ruins my hypothesis.
It still happened 15 more times that night. 15 more times.
Sounds like a load of barnacles. Sounds like that reduced the amount by 10.
Well, so there's one that was a 10-minute period. So it says that I was awake for 30 minutes. So one of those was 15 minutes. The other 15 were 1 minute. Because that's like, I can't go back to sleep, or I have to pee. Happened again the next night. So it says I was awake for an hour and 30 minutes. That was because between 2 and 4, I couldn't sleep. And then it says that I woke up at noon and stayed in bed. I think I was just like on my phone in bed. So that we'll say that one's data is wrong. Yesterday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 times 17. Waking up. And then last night, where I think I got some really bad sleep, because it was like, I don't know, I just don't feel rested when I woke up this morning. But it said I woke up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 times. For a total of 28 minutes.
Interesting. You woke up 27 times in the middle of the night and you don't feel well rested, huh?
Well, I don't think that those are correlated. I think that because of daylight savings, my internal clock was off, because yesterday was daylight savings.
Yeah.
Every day it gives you a sleep score on how well you slept. My scores for this week were 92, 88, 95, 85, 75. That's the day I woke up for too long in the middle of the night. 87, and then last night, 97, probably my best sleep ever, according to the app.
Except you disagree with that. You don't feel rested.
Again, that's because of daylight savings, I think.
But the app is telling you got amazing sleep, but you do not agree with that. So how well can we trust this app?
100%, because it can tell me all the stuff about my muscles and blood pressure that I'm not inherently aware of. Anyway, the point is...
how do we know that's accurate?
The point is that between 15 and 30 times a night, I'm waking up for an average of 1 minute each. And not knowing it. If you asked me how many times I woke up last night, I probably would have said 1 to go to the bathroom. It was actually 30. Or 20-something.
Nah.
And so, I guarantee you do the exact same thing. And so, if hypothetically I was to make you wear my watch while we're in Japan, I would be able to show you how many times you're waking up in the middle of the night.
I mean, that's fine. We can test this out, and you know what it'll say.
It'll say that you're just like me.
You got up twice. No. Once for the bathroom and once to roll over or whatever.
No, I have determined my hypothesis.
It's not going to be 30.
So last night I decided, I've been trying to listen to something else. I used to listen to this podcast. I think I talked about this. It was I listened to 10,000 hours of them last year. So I'm I don't know if I want to listen to that. So I was going through and I found some music. So I'm okay, I made a playlist of 70 songs. And I'm okay, if these 70 songs are an average of 3 minutes each, then this will last me throughout the whole night or something. So I was listening to this playlist and it was on shuffle, so I never had any idea what was coming next. And a song would be playing. And then it'd end. And then I'd be the second verse of the next song, and I'd be oh, I guess I my brain fuzzied for a few seconds there. And then I'm wait, no. What if my brain didn't fuzzy for a few seconds there? What if I've been asleep for an entire hour and this is just the middle of a different song? I would never know because it's not a linear story like Harry Potter.
Right.
So now I'm just aware of how I sleep. And being aware is half the battle.
Sounds like a skill issue.
No, it sounds like you have a skill issue. You don't even know how often you wake up in the middle of the night. You don't even know that you're waking up.
I know how often I wake up in the middle of the night. I put on recently Jenny Nicholson's like 3-hour
Vampire Diaries
video, and I sleep to that. Don't ask me why.
No, it's the same thing.
Sometimes you just fall asleep to sound.
Every night I fall asleep to sound for 30 years.
You know what happens to me when I listen to that video?
You wake up and it's an hour later and you don't notice.
No, it's either I wake up and the video's at a different spot, and because I've been, I know this video really well, I'm like, this much time has passed, that checks out, I feel like I have been asleep for an hour or whatever, and then I fluff my pillow or turn over or whatever, go to sleep. Or the other thing that'll happen is I'll have it on, and then I'll wake up to go to the bathroom or something, and it will be off. And I'm like, yeah, it does feel like about 3 hours has passed. I'm not like, I don't go to bed, wake up, and go, only 1 second has passed. That's crazy.
I think that you will think that when we scientifically test this in Japan.
I'm fine to do that, but I think it might be more scientific if it's not in Japan. I feel like there's going to be a bunch of
other factors
to throw off sleep data.
Yeah, it can't be like the first day we're there. It can't be like a big day. We'll figure it out.
Anyway. Sleep aside.
Sleep and ice cream.
Sleep and ice cream. What else do you need, really?
Nothing. It's just my life. Just sleep and ice cream. Maybe throw a banana in there occasionally,
I thought you didn't want to split.
Oh, no. Well, I think that we gotta split now because it's the end of the episode.
Oh my gosh.
If you guys have any questions about bananas, let us know.
Or apples.
In the comment section or by emailing us at slapendipity@gmail.com.
We look forward and we'll answer every question.
Every question
unless we decide
that we remember to look.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.